Okay, so our organization is called AVEGA, Association des Veuves du Génocide d'Avril, abbreviation in French for Association of Widows of April. But A stands also not only for April, but also for Agahozo. Agahozo is, in Kinyarwanda, is a nice song, a poem to dry tears. And because we lost our husbands, we lost our parents, we lost our sisters, we lost our aunties, so who is going to dry our tears? Who is going to comfort us? So when we created our organization like a sort of family, which is going to be there to dry our tears, to comfort us, to have a life again. So we started it. We started informally after the genocide. We started one widow meeting another one, friends, and then we realized that we were many and many and many. So in the end, we have to make an organization. We have to make it official, and it has been recognized beginning in '95. So 6 months later, it was recognized, so that we can apply for funds, we can apply for help, because we really needed to rebuild everything. We have to rebuild our souls, our destroyed lives with this talking together, comforting together, then making this psychological program. But we also have to get funds to treat wounds, physical wounds. People have been badly wounded. Often you survive because they left you among the bodies. They thought you are dead and you didn't die. So we have to treat those. And up to now, we are still trying to get funds to treat them. We still have people who have not been treated. But especially for our organization, for the widows and the women, excuse me, it was even worse because you survived. Often, in 80% of the cases, you survived because the people who killed your family have been raping you the whole time. So we find out later that more than the half of our members were infected with AIDS. And this was because it was a big issue in '94. So our members started to die, and we were trying to get medication, and they were too expensive, and we couldn't afford. And the cynicism of it is that while we couldn't afford to get the medication for the widows and the girls dying, the men who infected them, who were in the UN prison in Arusha, they were getting the medication because they were under a UN mandate. They were protected by the UN, even if it was a prison, but they were getting medication, and we didn't. So we have been also trying to get that. We think now it's okay. Now the medication, the antiretroviral are affordable, but we still try. Women who are getting it, it is so strong. The medication is so strong. You really need to have good food, because they are too strong. So we have to work on the income small project, which are going to bring income so that the women can afford to buy milk and afford to buy meat and eat properly. But we also have a big issue. We have to not only the health thing, but also this income program, but the whole issue of shelter. When they killed our people, they destroyed completely everything. So the majority of the survivors were all homeless, and we have to build and build again the houses. And it is still going on. There are still widows who are still homeless. So this is AVEGA. We try as much as possible. We try to make a lot of noise as well, because we find that it is not fair that it's not our duty to only us. We have to be assisted, and we are lucky. We have some assistance from the government. We have 5% of the budget of the government is in a special funds to assist survivors in need. So we got some funds for school fees, for health, but not big problems of health, for shelter. But again, it is not enough. So we try to shout, to speak loud, so that not only the government of Rwanda, but the other governments, the international community. This was a genocide in '94. And when a genocide happened, there was the Geneva Convention. They have to assist us. They have to intervene. But not only they didn't. You see, like the French government, they were part of it. So they have a big responsibility. But the others, the American, the British, the German, they also have a big responsibility. They made sure that the word genocide is not used, so that they are not forced to intervene. But it was a genocide. It is not because you don't say it that it is not. Now they recognize that it was a genocide. So I think it is their duty now to intervene. People should not be begging. Like we are trying to beg now to get money for Solange to be treated. She was a teenager. She has lost all her young time in a wheelchair. This should not be. Why should we be begging for the money for her to be operated? If there was intervention, if there was compensation from the international community and from the Rwandan who did it, she will be treated. She will pay for her operation. So this is really, for the moment, I'm really thinking if there is compensation, if there is, it is recognized, then people can really cope with the daily problems. And then we will try to address the psychological problem. We will try to address this affective emptiness. You find yourself from a family of 7 kids and a big African family, and you don't have anybody anymore. And you have to live with that. It's not easy. But at least if I have a house, if I have a room, if I have a bed, I can cope. I can go, I can hide my misery somewhere. And this house is necessary. If, okay, I survived, I have this sadness inside, but at least if I'm physically able to go and cope for myself and try on my own. So I think there are so many challenges. On one hand, I say so many challenges, but on the other hand, when you look, how many survivors? 300,000? It's so small. Why is it so difficult to intervene? Why is it so difficult for the world now to say 15 years ago, okay, sorry, they apologized. Your president did apologize. I say thank you, I'm happy that he apologized. But apology doesn't bring back, apology doesn't operate anybody. Apology doesn't build any house. So I want concrete. I want apology, thank you, really. But then plus apology, do something, do action. I'm very terre-à-terre, I'm very pragmatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.